Here are some of the stories on this week's show.
We remember former VA Deputy Secretary Gordon Mansfield.
This Miami veteran generates a lot of smiles.
VA stretches care to women veterans.
We have those stories and more this week on VA News.
Hello, I'm Thomas Middleton with the Office of Diversity and Inclusion.
And I am Terry McCrae with the Office of Information and Technology. Thanks for tuning in today. Former VA Deputy Secretary Gordon Mansfield died during surgery at the Washington, D.C. VA Medical Center on January 29th. He was 71. Mansfield was the Chief of Operations at VA for 6 years, with a brief stint as acting secretary in late 2007 and early 2008. He was the head of VA Congressional Affairs for 1 year, beginning in mid-2001. Before that, he was the executive director of the Paralyzed Veterans of America. Mansfield served tours of duty in Vietnam as a company commander with the 101st Airborne Division. He received the Distinguished Service Cross for his actions under fire during the TACT offensive, in which he was shot in the spine and paralyzed for life. He also was the recipient of the Bronze Star, 2 Purple Hearts, and the Presidential Unit Citation. He was a member of the Army Ranger Hall of Fame and the U.S. Army Officer Candidate School Hall of Fame. Presiding over his farewell ceremony at VA in January 2009, former Secretary James Peake presented Mansfield with the first Gordon Mansfield Veterans Advocate Award. He was also the first recipient of the Robert Dole Service to Our Nation Award. Respect and admiration for Mansfield was universal, as witnessed by the standing room only crowd at his farewell ceremony. It included former Secretaries Nicholson and Principi, both of whom Mansfield served under, numerous members of Congress and Capitol Hill staff, current and former senior VA staff, and former Senator Dole. In a written statement, Secretary Shinseki said, "On behalf of America's 22 million veterans, I salute the memory of a brave man, a great patriot, a devoted public servant, and a tireless advocate for all veterans."
To the veterans at the Miami VA Medical Center, the man who walks from the room once or twice a day to the lobby of the Community Living Center is more than just a fellow veteran. He is a very talented veteran that everyone is happy to see because he always brightens their day. Larry Gilstad reports.
First thing I saw when I walked, I turned the corner and I said, "There's an instrument in here." And that's...
Did somebody come and ask you to play?
No, no one ever asked. If I see a piano, nobody ever has to ask me to play it. The piano asks me to play it.
A resident in the Community Living Center at the Miami VA while undergoing medical treatment, renowned conductor and pianist Charles Darden's career has covered the globe, conducting in London, San Francisco, Norway, the Caribbean, Tanglewood, and as the principal conductor of the Dance Theater of Harlem, among others, and performed for dozens of kings, queens, prime ministers, and dignitaries. A graduate of Philadelphia's prestigious Curtis Institute of Music, Darden says he owes much of his success to the United States Army.
The Army was a very special place for me, and I think that it played an extremely important role in my development as a professional musician, both on the classical side and on the pop side. It was a small segment of my career, but it was an important segment of my career in that the Army afforded me lots of opportunity to be a professional musician. And in fact, I did most of my conducting work. I eventually became a symphony conductor, but the foundation for that was at the Armed Services School of Music, where I conducted lots of bands, lots of John Philip Sousa, and so I got basically a lot of my practical conducting experience in the Army. Voila.
I'm Larry Gilstead, reporting from Miami.
Darden served in the Army as a music theory instructor and band director from 1966 through 1968.
In an effort to improve healthcare services to women veterans, VA has awarded the largest number of one-year grants ever for facilities to target women's health services.
VHA National Women's Health Program Office, Office of Rural Health, and Office of Healthcare Transformation are jointly supporting the winning proposals. Here is Dwayne Wingfield with more.
A total of 33 grants have been awarded to VA facilities, like the Pittsburgh VA Medical Center, where they plan to improve female veterans' health through emergency health care services.
Here what we're doing is beefing up our emergency room services for women. We're trying to find out the best ways that we can train providers and get everyone up to speed so that when women come into an emergency room, the folks say, yeah, we know how to take care of you. Let's sit down, let's talk about it. Abnormal bleeding, pregnant abnormal bleeding, mental health conditions, pain conditions in women. These are the things that we're training on.
Education programs for VA staff and telehealth services for women vets living in rural areas.
In the past, we made women come to the main center for birth control, for general primary care, for gynecology. And now we have these grants to help facilities build up in the local, rural, community-based outpatient clinics. What that means is that a veteran can come to the clinic and participate in something called telehealth, where they sit in front of a computer screen and talk to a provider at the main facility about their concerns.
Visit www.va.gov/womenvet and www.womenshealth.va.gov for a complete list of grant recipients, or learn more about VA programs and services for women veterans.
Our goal is that wherever she comes to a VA, outpatient clinic or main site, we'll have the correct providers in place to take care of her.
The announcement of the grants coincides with Defense Secretary Leon Panetta declaring an end of the exclusion rule for female service members in ground combat and plans to begin implementing women's combat roles. By 2020, VA estimates women will make up 10% of the entire veteran population.
VHA Office of Patient Care Services recently hosted the 2012 Awards and Recognition Ceremony at VA Central Office. Assistant Deputy Undersecretary for Health for Patient Care Services, Rajiv Jain, presided over the reception and awards presentation. Programs and individuals were presented awards or certificates acknowledging previous awards.
Patient Care Services today held an awards ceremony just to recognize the employees in our group who had received various awards over the past year or two. And it's an important event. I think a lot of times we don't pay enough attention to the awards that our folks get and let some public recognition and say, it's important that the work that people do.
The newest edition of The American Veteran is available for viewing. Here's Jonathan Copehanger to tell us about it.
Definitely. In this month's edition of The American Veteran, we'll see how VA is using video game technology to help veterans improve balance and regain quality of life. VA rolls out secure messaging, a new system to speed and simplify secure communications between patients and doctors. You'll learn about training opportunities in high-demand occupations for thousands of job-seeking veterans, and an annual tribute to fallen veterans reaches a once-in-a-million milestone. That's what's in store. Hope you'll join us.
The American Veteran can be found on the VA homepage, www.va.gov. Just click on Media Room, then Video. You can also watch it on the VA YouTube page, VA's Knowledge Network, the Content Distribution Network, and the Pentagon Channel.
Did you know? During his time as VA's Deputy Secretary, Gordon Mansfield was instrumental in establishing VA's Nursing Academy. He also personally oversaw the largest IT reorganization within the federal government and VA's multi-billion-dollar construction program, including the initial planning for VA's state-of-the-art medical center in New Orleans in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina and planning the first merger of VA and Defense Department healthcare facilities. That facility, on Green Bay Road in North Chicago, opened in 2010 as Captain James A. Lovell Federal Healthcare Center.
That's all we have for this week's show. I'm Terry McCrae.
And I'm Thomas Middleton. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, everyone.